All right, so we need to talk about match week 27 and what VAR all got wrong, which surprisingly, there were multiple calls that were wrong once again this weekend. Now, to be frank, I did not watch every single match. I do have other things outside watching the EPL, which I wish I could watch every game. But the matches I did watch, there were controversial calls. So we're going to talk about Chelsea. We're going to talk about Manchester United. We're going to talk about Wolves because those three matches are the games I watch, and there were controversials. Now, if there's other games I did miss, which VAR got messed up, comment down below. I want to know which games I missed, and so that way I can watch them and add them to the list. Now, if you are new, this is a new take where we're going over VAR and seeing how poorly they were this past weekend. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. So let's get into it. First game we want to talk about is Chelsea. Now, in this match, there were multiple occurrences that we could have talked about against Leicester City, but we're going to talk about the first foul on João Felix because I think this one was probably the most impactful one had it been called right away because it was so early in the game. Now, Chelsea did obviously go on to win their match, therefore, you could say it did not matter if these calls were made, but really, in the first 5 minutes of the match, João Felix takes studs to higher up on the ankle, which clearly is a dangerous foul, and yet nothing was given. Not a yellow card, just a foul itself was given, which later on in a game, if this was seen, this most likely would have been a yellow card and most likely a red card, but yet because it was so early in the match, the ref kind of just looked past and said, let's go on, we'll keep playing, and VAR never even looked at this. And like I said, there are the instances in that match itself, Kai Havertz taking studs to the chest itself, but like I said, the first one with the João Felix foul, I just want to talk about that one because, again, being so early, that refs need to make that call, even if it's in the first 5 minutes of a match, because again, it was a reckless challenge on João Felix. Could have really injured him. Luckily, he was able to continue to play, but still, studs up going to the player's leg, higher than the ankle. Looking at the rules, that should be a red card. Now, the second match we're going to talk about then is Manchester United, which, yes, there was a red card with Casemiro, and rightfully so. I think that was the right call, even though, yes, he got all ball, but the way he came and hit the ball with his studs up, went over and then hit the player, and therefore, again, reckless tackle. And again, it's controversial. I can understand that, but still, I think it was the right call. But we're looking at two other options in this game that, again, Manchester United probably should have won this game because the game did end 0-0. And Manchester United being down to 10 men for the majority of this game, really, they could have scored a goal. They would have easily won this game. Now, the first one deals with the handball, which I'm going to place right here in this corner on Bell, which you can see he's falling to the ground, but that clearly prevents the ball being played to Weghorst, which every time it seems like a player falls to the ground, they claim that because he's falling, he's using his hands to brace himself, which that really opens up the window for really any defender, if they're defending in the box, to fall to the ground, to make themselves bigger, to prevent the ball from being crossed to another player, which, like I said, opens up a massive box because when that does happen, at some point, they're going to start calling that and you're going to start wondering, why weren't they called before? But again, VAR should have called this. I think this was a blatant handball. Yes, there was another call in the Manchester United match. Again, that was more controversial with whether Rashford was touched or not. It looked like he was clipped, but again, I do not know. So therefore, I'm not going to add it to the list. But again, Manchester United probably should have had at least one PK in this match. In our last match, the third one here is Wolves versus Newcastle. This one, again, I'm frankly shocked how this was not a red card, not a PK. Nick Pope got the ball, made a huge touch. Raul was able to take it away from dribble. Now, granted, he was going more towards the end line here and not going exactly towards the goal, but still, his next touch most likely would have been right towards goal and open net, to say the least, and been a goal itself. So the fact is that Nick Pope then fouled him after he got the ball stolen from him, and yet this was not a foul at all. No penalty, no red card. Again, and this would have made a huge difference for the Newcastle match because obviously Nick Pope being sent off again would have had a massive impact for Newcastle, and which would have been quite surprising because he just had come back recently from a red card from a handball they used outside the box. So therefore, again, I think the ref got this one wrong. VAR got it wrong, and this should have been a penalty. He should have gotten a red card, and again, should have maybe seen Wolves win this match. It did make a huge difference because, again, Newcastle were able to win that match. I think it ended up being 2-1. And so VAR really needs to be checked. So I want to know what you guys think on all these VAR calls. Again, comment down below if I missed any this weekend, because this is only the 3 matches I did watch, and all 3 had some blatantly obvious calls that, again, VAR should have gotten wrong. So that is it, and I will see you in our next video.